Everyone, welcome to Michelin King live on YouTube. So today it's just a very quick video about one of our new products, which is called Regal. This wax started off over the years. We have had quite a few emails from customers just requesting either waxes or wanting to discuss the T1 content of the waxes. And more recently, we're basically finding this a much more commonplace question. So they maybe use a wax at the moment that has a certain T1 content. They want to switch over to us, but they want to get the same. Thanks very much for that order. They want to get the same or a better experience than what they're getting just now. Ideally, obviously, a better one. So we brought out one of our other waxes called Prototype. It was a much more straightforward blend, hence the price. It was T1 Carnauba Wax, but again, there wasn't the same amount of, didn't contain the same natural oils and things like that. So, hi John, how you doing? Whereas Regal, kind of befitting of the name, the oils that I'm using in this are of a higher quality, but I can still offer it at $74.99 rather than launching into the luxury waxes, because we have quite a few of them. They are popular and they have their place within the setup, whereas this wax it was really about how far we could push the T1 without doing too many silly things to the blend to subtract from what it actually is. So you could actually get this higher, and that might be in the pipework later on. But at the moment, we've opted for a 66% T1 Carnauba Wax content. It's very usable. It's very easy to apply. It is a hard wax, but not hard in the case of, rock solid that you can't get it out of the jar. Just hard in the fact that it does have a higher volume of T1. But we have, because I've been making waxes for so long now, there are things that I know to do to make the wax usable. So we'll increase certain oils because they essentially make the spreadability of the wax better as well. So there's certain things that the way that we engineer the wax, that's probably the best word for this. So whenever I'm thinking of a new wax to make, or I've come across a set of ingredients that I would like to make, that's exactly what I do. I engineer the blend. So it's not really left to guesswork or anything like that. It's very, very precise and very accurate. And that's why the waxes are so good, because it's all about controlling the blend. You want to control the outcome because you want it to be usable. And that's exactly what this is. It's an extremely usable 66% T1. And the wax content's high as well. So one of the sneaky things, or not sneaky, but one of the things that you can do to really elevate your T1 content or your percentage is to also ramp up the oils. Now, that isn't really a true representation of what I would term a high wax content car wax, bit of a mouthful. And the reason for that is, if I'm thinking about a high wax content, if I'm thinking about one of a high wax content, certainly a high T1, I want it to be high wax content. So let's break this down. This isn't the exact blend, but it just gives you an idea of what we do. Just going to move that microphone. So let's take our trusty pie chart, and we'll just do a 50-50 to begin with. So say, for instance, you've got 50% of a wax content. So that could be made up of T1 and paraffin, let's say. And then the other 50% would be your oils. Now, this is something to watch out for. So say if we drove that up to, let's do this. Sorry, I'm doing it ad hoc, so just bear with me. So say if we then changed it and said, if I said to you, I've got a really high Carnauba content wax, but you actually find out that the blend is 80%, this isn't realistic, but it's not too far off, 80% oils and 20% wax, I think you'd be quite disappointed, because that wax content is considerably less than this one. However, this one, flipping and flopping, this one here is marketed as a high Carnauba wax, and the reason for that is this. So within that 20%, we'll break it down that 10%, and this is how you can engineer things, but this is not what we do. So we could break this down into 10% paraffin and 90% Carnauba. It's actually only 20% content wax, so it's actually quite low. But that's just an example of how it's always important, certainly for us at Michelin King, that we are very straightforward in how we market the products, and always make sure that, for instance, Atomic, let's go on to that, ceramic coatings. Our Atomic product is a blended ceramic, so it's not a pure ceramic, but that's very clear on the website at every point of purchase. So you're aware that you're not buying an out-and-out ceramic, but what you are buying is a product that lasts 3 years, roughly about 3 years, and it doesn't have all the problems associated with 100% glass ceramic coating. But if you did want a glass ceramic coating, then you can purchase Lunar, which is our 100% ceramic coating. So it's always just about making sure that the customer is aware of exactly what they're buying, so that, again, going back to what we said in the beginning, that they get the same experience or a better experience than what they are having right now. And that's really where Regal comes in. Yes, we could bump up the Carnauba even more. However, say for instance, if you bought an 80% T1, this isn't necessarily the case, but again, just an example. If you bought an 80% T1 wax from us and you bought the 66%, your question might be straight away, why is the 80% a softer wax than your 66%? And it's typically because an 80% is quite a difficult T1 wax to make. So you're going to have to increase the oils to offset the hardness of the wax. And for me, that then becomes a low wax content wax. So this is the thing, that the higher the T1 doesn't always necessarily mean better wax. Regal is an exceptionally good wax for the price. It probably, not within the Michelin King range, but it beats everything hands down, up to probably about a couple of £100. But it's very well placed within the Michelin King range, because the wax above this would be Trossachs. Now, Trossachs is aiming slightly in a different direction. So Trossachs has higher quality oils, and it actually has different waxes as well. So I've changed. I don't actually use that much T1 in Trossachs. I use different waxes because I wanted a different look. And again, it's just for all of our customers out there that have a variety of our different wax, or have a collection. For instance, John has quite a serious collection, and so that if he was to purchase Regal, he could compare that against Trossachs. And high T1 content waxes are not the be all and end all, and certainly aren't for everyone. You know, I would guess right now, if I was to put this, if I was to give 10 people Regal and give them 10 Trossachs as well, for instance, some of them will choose Trossachs over Regal because they prefer the look of Trossachs. So it's all about wax is a really personal thing, which is why we have so many different waxes. Because there are customers that will favour certain waxes over others. But certainly when we go back to Regal, it's an outstanding wax. Yes, it is 66% T1, but that's not its full story. You've got some really nice oils in here as well. It is quite a straight shooting blend. Hi Hargy, how are you? It's quite a straight shooting blend as well. It's really aiming at that wet look gloss, and it does that really well. So if you are in the market for a wax that you want a real wet look gloss and you want it nice and easy to apply and nice and easy to remove, then Regal's certainly the one for you. And just to round this off, we still have a 40% off for Black Friday. That will end on the 31st of November. So if you are thinking of purchasing anything, then go ahead and just use that. The code's automatic, so just go to checkout and it'll do it all for you. So michelinking.com. Take care. Check out Regal. Oh, the other thing is they'll all be numbered and signed on the back as well. Just to add a wee bit more exclusivity, and obviously that's the new label for this as well, just to make it stand out than from the other waxes. Right, guys, take care. Bye-bye.